Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Brazos Valley, UUCBV, or Brazos UU for short. My name is John Ivy, and I'm serving as your worship assistant today. We are a welcoming congregation, which means we celebrate and welcome all people of diverse sexual orientations and gender identities. We strive to welcome people across diversities of race, age, ability, immigration status, and belief. We also are a congregation working for reproductive justice. So whoever you are, wherever you have come from, wherever you are on life's journey, know that you are welcome here.
Community, our Unitarian Universalist Church of the Brazos Valley, to create the real congregation beyond the walls, the wood, the mortar, the bricks, beyond orders of service and candles and hymns. Those who give generously of your time, your talents, and your treasures, we thank you. Who attend the long meetings, we thank you. Who stack the chairs, who bring the snacks, we thank you. Those who drive the supplies, who do the shopping, who serve on the board, we thank you. Who help at Family Promise, who design the postcards and the announcements, we thank you. Who smile at visitors and known longtime members, who are always glad to see us, we thank you. Those who bring your laughter, those who teach our children, those who are the services who sit in the hospital, we thank you. Those who check on our neighbors, who march in the streets, we thank you. We are made strong by your energies and commitment. Those who are always thinking of the future, who love and care for those who are here, now, and who dream of those who are coming, we thank you.
Please say our chalice lighting words with me. We light the chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, as a beacon of hope for all who seek justice, dignity, and compassion, and in celebration of the life of truth and meaning we share together. Now, all please join me in saying our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
We would be one as now we join in singing our hymn of love to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other to show to all a new community. On our way, as one we pledge ourselves to greater service, with love and justice strive to make us free. Oh, make us free.
Our Time for All Ages this week is called A Lamp in Every Corner by Janine K. Grossmeyer, and it's a favorite of UU congregations. This story's been adapted a little bit. Many years ago, in the land of Transylvania, in a mountain valley watered by quick, rushing streams and shadowed by great forests of beech trees, there was a village of small wooden houses with dark shingled roofs. The people in the village were of the Unitarian religion, and they wanted a church of their own. A church set on the hillside, they decided, looking down upon the village as a mother looks down upon a sleeping child. So, all the people of the village labored long and hard to build themselves a church. The stonemasons hammered sharp chisels to cut great blocks of gray stone, then set the stones into stout and sturdy walls. The glaziers made tiny glass panes and fitted them neatly into the windows with leaded lines. The foresters sawed tall beech trees into enormous beams and laid the trusses for the ceilings, then covered the roof with close-fitting wooden shingles that wouldn't leak a drop of rain. The carpenters carved wood for the pair of wide opening doors, setting them on strong pegs so that the doors hung straight and square. A bell was brought from a faraway city, then hoisted by ropes with a heave and a hoe to the top of the tower. The weavers wove fine cloths for the altar table, cloths embroidered with flowers and edged with lace. The smiths hammered black iron into tall lampstands and hammered thin bronze into shining oil lamps. Finally, when the building of the church was done, the painting of the church could begin. The painters mixed bright colors, royal red and shimmering gold and brilliant blue, and everyone in the village, people of all ages and genders, came to decorate their church. They painted flowers, they painted trees, they painted designs around the windows and different designs around the doors. And at the end of the day, when it was finished, when their church was finally done, all the people of the village stood back to admire it, and then to sing a song of happiness and praise. Their village had a church now, a church set on the hillside, looking down upon the village as a mother looks down upon a sleeping child. "We will eat now," announced an elder of the village, because everyone was pretty hungry after their long day's work. "And later tonight we will come back to pray." So the people of the village went down the hillside to their homes and their suppers, all except a little child named Zora and their father, who stayed behind. They had brought their own bread and cheese, so they ate their food slowly, sitting on the grass on the hillside and admiring their new church with its strong stone walls, its tall tower, and its magnificent bell. After they had eaten, they went back inside, opening those carved wooden doors to go into the gloriously painted sanctuary inside. "Oh, look, Father," Zora cried, running from picture to picture with the sound of footsteps echoing off the stone walls. "See how pretty the church is?" Zora stopped in the center of the church and twirled slowly around. "See how grand?" "Yes, it is," said Zora's father, looking around and nodding with pride. "Yes, it is." "But Father," Zora said suddenly, "we have not finished." "What do you mean?" "There are tall iron lampstands all along the walls, but there are no lamps. The church will be dark when the people come back." "Oh, no, little one," said the father. "The light of the church comes from its people. You shall see." Zora's father rang the bell to call the people to worship, then took Zora by the hand and went back outside. They waited on the grassy hillside next to their beautiful church of strong gray stone. The sun had set behind the mountains and night was coming soon. Yet in the growing darkness, tiny points of light came from many directions and moved steadily up the hill. "Each family is entrusted with a lamp, little one," the father explained. "Each family lights its own way here." "Where's our family's lamp?" "Your mother is carrying it. She will be here soon." The many lights moved closer together, gathering into one moving stream, all headed the same way, growing larger and brighter all the time. Zora's mother arrived, bearing a burning oil lamp in her hands. The father lifted Zora so they could set their family's lamp high in its tall iron stand. All around the church, other families were doing the same. Soon the church was ablaze with light in every corner, for all the people of the village had gathered to pray and to sing. All through the worship service, Zora watched the lights flicker and glow. Zora watched their family's lamp most of all. When the service was over, Zora's father lifted them high. They took the shining bronze lamp from the lampstand. Its curved sides were warm and smooth in their hands. Zora's mother carried the lamp home, with the flame lighting the way. The lamp flame lit their house when they returned home. Zora washed their face and got ready for bed by the light of that flame. "Mother," Zora began as they climbed into bed and lay down. "Yes, little one?" their mother asked, tucking the red wool blanket around Zora's shoulders. "Father said the light of the church comes from its people." "Yes, but also the people take their light from the church." Over on the table by the fireplace, the shiny bronze lamp was still burning. "And we have that light every day." "Yes, indeed," said Zora's mother. "And even when we are not in church, even when the lamp is not lit, we carry the light of truth in our minds and the flame of love in our hearts to show us the right way to be. That light, the light from truth and love, will never go out." "Never?" asked Zora. "Never," said Zora's mother. "And this bronze lamp will last for many, many years. When you are grown, we will give you the bronze lamp. And when your children are grown, if you have any, you will give the lamp to them. And all of you will carry it back and forth to church each time." "But there's only one lamp," Zora said. "So make another and let the light grow, and someday tell the village's children to make more lamps too. And now, good night," their mother said, and kissed Zora once on this cheek and once on that cheek and once on the forehead. Zora closed their eyes and drifted into dreams, while Zora's mother looked down upon her sleeping child. The years passed. Zora grew. The bronze lamp came into Zora's care. They kept it polished and clean, and when the bell rang out across the valley to call the people to worship, Zora carried the lamp back and forth to the church on the hillside, the flame always lighting their way. When the time came, Zora made more lamps and gave them to the village children, who made more lamps and gave them to their children. And so it went on and on through the years, even until today. And always, always, the light of truth and the flame of love from that Unitarian church on the hillside continued to grow and show them and us the way. The end.
Imagine how our own families, let alone the world, would change if we vowed to keep faith with one another, strengthen one another, look for and accentuate the virtues in one another, and speak graciously concerning one another. Imagine the cumulative effect if we treated each other with respect and acceptance, if we willingly provided support. Such interactions practiced on a small scale would surely have a rippling effect throughout our homes and communities, and eventually society at large. Gordon B. Hinckley. Ubuntu. A person is a person through other persons. None of us comes into the world fully formed. We would not know how to think or walk or speak or behave as human beings unless we learned it from other human beings. We need other human beings in order to be human. I am because other people are. A person is entitled to a stable community life, and the first of these communities is the family. Bishop Desmond Tutu. Good morning. This is an exciting day. I want to start out with Audre Lorde, who said, "Without community, there is no liberation." One of the things that's so exciting to me about being part of our community at UUCBV is that we are a mission-driven place. We have a focus, and our focus is not just taking care of ourselves and being a community for ourselves, but also reaching out and trying to make the world a better place. And so I have some questions for you to consider this morning as we talk about what makes a thriving community and try to help us during this period of where there's a lot going on. We're all disappointed that we had to shut back down. It seemed like it took us about a month to get in-person services going the way we wanted them to, and people were coming back, and it was getting very exciting. And I think it's very difficult to have these 2 years where we keep going back and forth and we're not sure what's going to happen next. We don't have a lot of control. And what happens in those situations often, especially in white supremacy culture, in the culture that we were all raised in, there's an expectation to do things quickly and to focus and just use your will. And often the people who are in leadership have that feeling that they need to take over and they need to take control right then when a crisis happens to make things better for everyone. And we have a lot of leaders, and so we have a lot of different ways in which we could be making things better. But what I know is that whatever we do, we have to do it together. And that by focusing our habits of attention on trying to stay as relaxed as possible and to concentrate on the things that we need to concentrate on and let some other things go for a while, that we don't have to solve all the problems right now. We are also under a lot of stress that we can't see under the surface. There's the stress of not having a building, not having a place. We're not quite sure what it's going to be like. We're very hopeful, but at the same time, we're just building. We've just got the foundation poured. So this is a great opportunity for us as a congregation to work on some stuff that we might have let slide in the past. Notice our habits of attention. Notice where we put our focus and try our best to embody the habits of healthy congregations and thriving congregations and sustainable congregations so that we all don't burn out trying to control something we can't control. So that's what I want to talk to you today. I'm really grateful for everyone. We have amazing participation in this church. More than 75% of the people today are being honored for their volunteer service. More than 75% of the membership of this church. And not everyone is in a period where they can focus their money or focus their time or their talents on the church right now. Some people are in a position where they've been ill, or they have some family crisis that they're dealing with, or they lost their job, or there's other things that might be taking your focus right now. And we need to be a strong enough place that we can carry the people that need to be carried when they need to be carried. and take care of ourselves too. Be really kind to each other. I think it's real easy to want to control by being critical. What I want people to think about is perhaps concentrate on being encouraging and accepting of other people who do things in a different way than you, and try to make sure that you're spending a kind of 3-to-1 ratio of being more positive and supportive than critical. And because everybody's a little tender right now. And so sometimes you may be thinking, well, it's not personal. I'm just making an observation. But an observation that sounds critical to someone in a crisis situation can drive somebody away or hurt their tender parts. So we just need to be a little bit more careful with each other. Anybody who's been in a long-term relationship knows what I'm talking about. You get a little stressful and you get a little testy with your partner. Take the time to say, I'm sorry. Take the time to slow down and concentrate and really try to spend your energy on making each interaction as healthy and as kind as you can. Compassion. What is our purpose and what makes a congregation? What are we made of? What is important? Sometimes what's important and more important is to be kind to each other and give each other a lot of slack when there's a lot of tension in the air. Give each other a lot of slack. If you are a person who tends to, out of fear or out of worry, snap, apologize, try to count to 10, go a little slower. These are all small things, and we all know this. So I just encourage you to be as positive as you can. Say something. You notice that somebody's done really good work, or they're really trying to do good work. Pay attention to the effort, not just the outcomes. There's a lot of volunteer energy around here, and not everybody is in a position to give a lot of time. Especially if your kids are home, a lot of people are being sick with COVID, and you can't control your schedule. A lot of people are not getting their vacations. They're not getting time off. We're just all under a lot of pressure. And I think by focusing on our mission and look forward to the vision of what we are building here, we are building a new way, as our stewardship song goes. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. It's a good song and it's a good message. And we really are building a new way. I'm so excited about where we're going. And I'm excited about that we're surviving in a situation that's very difficult to survive. And really, we're moving toward thriving. So what I want to spend some time talking to you about is how to be a thriving congregation and how we can focus and see how far we've come and how much good we're doing in the world. As Fred Rogers says, we live in a world in which we need to share responsibility. It's easy to say, it's not my child, not my community, not my world, not my problem. Then there are those who see the need and respond. I consider those people my heroes. That's what Fred Rogers said, and that's what I'm saying to you. I consider you all my heroes. Thank you for all you've done and all you are doing to maintain and create a beloved community for us to live in. And as we're celebrating Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday this week, I think it's a great opportunity to think a little bit and visualize what I like to call sky, where you imagine without the constraints of reality what kind of world you want to live in, so that we point our arrows in the right direction. Our vision is to be a beloved community where people feel safe and secure in their church home as well as their family home and their individual lives, that there is focus, that we are supporting each other in our spiritual journey, that we're not treating this like a business or a capitalist investment, because it's more than that. It has a spiritual component, and we're building the world we want to live in. And that takes a lot of guts to say out loud what your vision is. That requires putting up with people saying, "Oh, you're just being naive and Pollyanna." Maybe so. Those of y'all who have seen Ted Lasso, I think that's a good model for how to overcome adversity and criticism and keep moving toward your vision of treating people better, concentrating on having a good team and having good relationships, because a church of our size is 100% built on relationships. The people who are here and the people who are coming, and they're coming. So we need to get ready for it. I'm going to show you at the end of the sermon a bit of a Simpsons episode. And I love this episode because the Simpsons run into a hobo. And the question is whether it's a singing hobo or a stabbing hobo. And I like to extrapolate that out into, we want to be a singing congregation and not a stabbing congregation, a healthy congregation. So what kind of things make that happen? The Presbyterians have a list of the 10 characteristics of a thriving congregation, and I'm going to adapt them for our use here. Number 10. It feels like I'm on David Letterman. Are you not afraid to try something new? Are you not afraid to try something new? Number 9. Understand and use systems thinking. What I'm talking about is Bowen's systems theory, which basically says congregations and organizations resemble humans, resemble people, in that they have personalities and they have strengths and weaknesses. And often people, when they get involved in a community, bring their personal systems into their positions in the society. So if you were the firstborn and you're used to having all the responsibility, chances are in the congregation you're going to do the same thing. If you were the scapegoat in your family, chances are you're going to be in a lot of situations where you're a scapegoat in the church as well. People tend to bring their systems with them. So that's what they're talking about there. We can learn more about that. There's a lot of information out there. We need to have a strong congregational identity. What do you think UUCBV's congregational identity is? I have ideas about it. I'd love to hear yours. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit if you want to bring that to the coffee hour. Number 7, have we moved into the 21st century? Well, the pandemic forced a lot of people into being more comfortable with modern day technology, and we are continually improving our skills in that area. But I would say, yeah, we have moved into the 21st century. Number 6, support new worshiping communities or immigrant fellowships. Are we reaching out into the community? Are we helping our neighbors and the people who have less than us? 5, have leadership that fits in a healthy organizational structure. One of the things we've really been working on this year is getting our roles and structure figured out so that we are able to discuss it with new people, and they won't take so long to figure out how we work. They'll be able to jump right in, and that everybody else who's been here a long time will be able to continue and work a little bit more efficiently and clearly and transparently. So we're sharing power well, and we're building for the future. Number 4, help people become better members, better UUs, better human beings. We definitely work on that, and we can all benefit from that. Number 3, have inspiring worship. Lord knows we are trying. Appreciate everybody who volunteers to do a service. So far, they've been just hitting it out of the park. Everybody on staff is working really, really hard. I know Allison and John and I in particular, and Nancy on the announcements and stuff. We're working every week to make the worship as good as we can and do it as well as we can. So please let us know if you think of ways that we could improve that, knowing that we have limited time and talent. So we're doing the best we can, and we will continue to try to do better. Number 2,
Friendliness. Friendliness is important. Being kind, being welcoming, being radically hospitable. These are all things we can look toward as being good intentions for our congregation. We're pretty good at it. Let's keep getting better. And the number one characteristic, looking outward, not inward. So balance that with ask yourself some of these hard questions. I look forward to hearing what you think about these things, and we'll go on from here. I leave you with the Buddha. You are the community now. Be a lamp for yourselves. Be your own refuge. Seek for no other. All things must pass. Strive on diligently and don't give up. Lord, y'all, don't give up. We're almost there. We are building a new way. I look forward to seeing you at coffee hour and hearing what you have to say. Thank you.
The Simpsons are riding the rails.
Cool, a dead hobo.
Morning, folks.
What are you gonna do to us?
Now, don't worry, I'm not a stabbing hobo. I'm a singing hobo. Nothing beats the hobo life. Stabbing folks with my hobo knife. I gouge them.
Excuse me, hobo. Can you play something a little less unnerving?
Sure. I was just having a little fun with you no-bos.
Now let an offering be taken to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. This church shares the proceeds of the offering plate donation every week to support important nonprofit organizations with which we work. This month, we are proud to support Tiny Hope Village, a nonprofit organization formed to provide a permanent housing solution for people who have experienced homelessness in the Bryan, College Station, Hearn area. Please be as generous as you can. We give thanks for these gifts we have given, for those we receive, and for each other. May your generosity return to you tenfold. Please join me now in extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we gather together again.